Hey everybody, good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about footwear for babies and children because that's a really common question I get from a lot of parents on what shoes are the best for my early walker, what shoes are the best for my kindergartner, that kind of stuff. And so let's start with babies. The bottom line is that babies need as much barefoot time as possible. So actually the answer is no shoes for babies as much as possible because babies get a ton of neurologic input from the bottoms of their feet, a ton of proprioception it's called. And so it's really important for them to get plenty of just barefoot time. So really the only time I recommend putting shoes on babies is if you're, heading outside and you need to keep their feet warm in the winter time is when babies need shoes. When we start talking about when they start to walk, then we'll need some shoes for going outside. And so the ones that I liked the best for my kiddos when they were starting to walk, and what I recommend is something like these cute little things that are just, all it is a piece of leather on the bottom of the foot. So it's basically as little as possible. This is like the most minimal baby shoe you can find. The common brand when my kids were little was Robies. This says Mini Star. I've seen these everywhere now. They're really common. And so it's just a tiny piece of leather on the bottom is all. So that's the best first shoe for babies. As little as possible is what we're going for. I get a lot of questions about, my baby looks flat-footed. My toddler looks flat-footed. Babies have a fat pad in the right in here where the arch is in an adult. And so babies and toddlers are going to look flat-footed for a while, but that's how they're designed. That's how they're supposed to be. And so kids don't develop an arch in their foot until about age 3, when they're in preschool age. And so when we move on from shoes like this, I continue to recommend as little of a sole as possible until they're 3. And so here's some other sample shoes that I got from some of my staff. This says Gymboree on it, and it's just a really flexible sole with not much to it. There's like a tiny little bit of foam in there. That would be another great option for a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old. And this one has a little bit more sole, but would still be a great option for an early, 1-year-old, 2-year-old before they have an arch. Again, what I tell parents to do is do this when you're shoe shopping. Do that and make sure for your toddler that you can totally bend the shoe like that. You want it really flexible as much as possible. Again, they don't need arch support until they're about 3. So those are my favorites for the toddler set. As little as possible is what we're going for. As kids get a little bit older, into 3, 4, 5, then you do want a little bit of support. And I like, as a fairly supportive shoe. The most common question I get in the summer, of course, is about sandals. And I'm going to tell you right off, I do not like flip-flops at all for adults or children. I don't yell at people for coming in flip-flops, but flip-flops basically make your foot just work really hard to just keep the shoe on, and I don't want kids' feet to work harder than they need to. So every time you take a step with a flip-flop, your foot has to grab to keep that shoe on. And so I definitely would rather not see flip-flops on children. At the very bare minimum with sandals, and this goes for children and adults, is we like to see a strap behind the heel on any sandal, because then the foot doesn't have to work to keep the shoe on. And so this is a great sandal for kids. I like this toe covering in the front because that's been really helpful for my kids with not stubbing their toes when they're running around in the summertime. And so something like this, or a Keen sandal. These are great summer options for kids as far as sandals. Basically, the more supportive the sandal, the better. I like something like this because they spend a lot of time running around outside in the summer. And again, barefoot time is good too. But if it's something pokey, try to get them in something like this. And then when we talk about footwear for kids, I really prefer to see kids at school in just a tennis shoe and something supportive with some structure to this shoe and some arch support on the inside. So I'd love to answer any questions. Please let me know if you have any. Foot pain in children, I should address. Foot pain in children is not normal. Kids should not have foot pain. So bring your kiddo in for a checkup. Bring them in to see me if they're having foot pain, because that's something to look into. And if you're concerned about flat-footedness in kids past age 3, do bring them in for a checkup as well, because very frequently when we make adjustments to the spine and pelvis, that actually helps them to even out the way that they're walking and can actually improve flat-footedness when we catch it early. And so please come in and ask if you have any questions on kids' feet or footwear. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.